Welcome back to Coin Value Guide. Imagine reaching into your pocket and holding a small used Roosevelt One Dime coin that could secretly change your life. Today we are uncovering the top 3 rare old USA Roosevelt One Dime coins that many Americans once spent without a second thought, yet collectors now search for them with serious passion. The first rare Roosevelt dime stands out because of its historical minting era. Produced during a time of change in the United States. Even in used condition, this coin attracts attention due to its limited survival and strong collector demand. The second Roosevelt One Dime tells an even more dramatic story, circulated for years, passed from hand to hand, yet hiding unique characteristics that make experts stop and look twice. Small details, subtle marks, and original strike quality are what transform this ordinary-looking dime into a legendary find. The third rare Roosevelt One Dime may be the most exciting of all. Heavily used yet incredibly desirable, collectors know that rarity and history matter more than shine. These coins are known to add value reaching millions of dollars, not because they are flashy, but because they are scarce, authentic, and tied to American history. Before you ignore that old dime, remember, the next legendary coin could already be in your collection. Stay curious, stay searching, and stay connected with Coin Value Guide. Stop right now and listen closely, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you look at the loose change sitting in your pocket or forgotten inside an old drawer. Imagine this scenario: you are holding an ordinary-looking, small silver-colored coin, scratched, worn, used, nothing flashy, nothing special at first glance. Yet hidden inside that tiny circle of metal could be a value so shocking that most people would not be. Leave it until it is too late. Today on Coin Value Guide, we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about modern-era coins ever whispered about among elite collectors, the 1975 Roosevelt One Dime coin. A coin millions of Americans have seen, spent, and ignored. Yet a very specific used condition version of this coin has been rumored, documented, and hunted with near obsession, with whispers of values climbing as high as $12 million. And before you dismiss that number as impossible, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because step by step we are going to uncover why this coin matters, what makes it different, how to identify it even in used condition, and most importantly, how and where to sell it safely if you are one of the lucky few. And right now, as suspense builds, I want you to gently tap that like button, because every like helps this video reach another collector who might unknowingly be sitting on a hidden fortune. Now let us begin the story. The 1975 Roosevelt One Dime coin was minted during a time of economic uncertainty in the United States. Inflation was rising, trust in paper money was shaky, and everyday Americans relied heavily on coins for daily transactions. The Roosevelt dime itself was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader deeply connected to the March of Dimes campaign, making this coin symbolic long before collectors assigned it massive value. But the year 1975 is where the real intrigue begins. Most dimes from this year were struck in copper-nickel-clad composition and circulated heavily, which is why finding a used one today is extremely common. However, what collectors discovered decades later sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. A very small number of 1975 Roosevelt dimes were produced with extraordinary anomalies and transitional characteristics that were never meant to leave the mint. And that is where the suspense thickens, because not all valuable coins look perfect. Some of the most expensive coins in history were found worn, scratched, and used, and this is exactly why so many people unknowingly spend them. Now imagine holding a used 1975 Roosevelt dime and thinking nothing of it, yet its diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters. Its thickness of about 1.35 millimeters, and its weight around 2.68 grams quietly match the physical standards that collectors analyze under magnification and precision scales. And here is the cliffhanger moment most people miss. Within that standard size and weight, there can exist microscopic, Details that separate a common dime from a multi-million-dollar treasure. Details such as missing mint marks where one should exist, experimental plankett compositions, off-metal strikes, or proof dies accidentally released into circulation. And when these rare combinations appear together, even in used condition, the value skyrockets. Now let me ask you something and leave it hanging for a moment. What if the coin you dismissed as damaged was actually damaged by history itself, a mistake frozen in time? Keep that thought because we are about to go deeper. Collectors have identified that certain 1975 Roosevelt dimes struck without an expected mint mark or struck on an experimental silver-based plankett intended for testing purposes became legendary. Only a handful are known to exist, and they are fiercely protected by private collectors and museums, and when one surfaces at auction, the bidding becomes silent, intense, and explosive, driving values upward into the millions, with some private sale estimates reaching the jaw-dropping figure of $12 million for a verified used example. And yes, used condition does not destroy the value here. In fact, it proves authenticity because it shows the coin lived among everyday Americans, unnoticed. Now pause for a second, and if this is blowing your mind, type the word dime in the comments because I want to see how many of you are still with me on this journey. Now let us talk about condition because many people think only shiny coins matter. But for this specific 1975 Roosevelt dime condition is about originality, not perfection. A used condition coin with natural wear, smooth edges from circulation, and honest surface aging can actually be more desirable than a cleaned or altered coin. Cleaning a coin can instantly destroy its value, and this is a critical moment, so listen carefully. If you think you might have one of these coins, do not clean it, do not polish it, do not attempt to improve it. Leave it exactly as it is because collectors and grading services look for untouched surfaces. Now another suspenseful layer unfolds: authentication. Before any serious buyer even considers a multi-million-dollar purchase, the coin must be authenticated and graded by top-tier services such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations examine the metal composition, strike characteristics, weight tolerance, and historical mint records to confirm legitimacy. And when a used 1975 Roosevelt dime passes that process, the market reacts instantly. Private collectors step forward, auction houses prepare discreet listings, and suddenly a coin that once bought a cup of coffee is being discussed in boardrooms and vaults. Now let us talk about where to sell because this is where many people make costly mistakes. Selling a potentially $12 million coin on a casual marketplace is risky and dangerous. The right selling places are established auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries. These firms specialize in ultra-rare United States coins and have access to elite buyers worldwide. Another option is working through certified dealers connected to PCGS or NGC who can broker private sales, and for those testing the waters, eBay can be used only after professional authentication and only with extreme caution. But remember, serious buyers of coins at this level do not shop casually. They seek trust, documentation, and provenance. And now here comes another cliffhanger moment: taxes and legal considerations. Large coin sales may involve reporting requirements depending on your location and sales structure, which is why working with professional auction houses protects you legally and financially. Now, as we approach the final stretch of this story, I want you to subscribe to Coin Value Guide if you have not already, because this channel exists to uncover stories exactly like this, stories hiding in plain sight, stories that turn ordinary objects into extraordinary opportunities. And here is the final revelation. The 1975 Roosevelt One Dime coin is not valuable because of hype. It is valuable because of rarity, mistakes, history, and human oversight, a perfect storm that created a legend. And somewhere out there, right now, a used dime sits quietly waiting to be rediscovered. Maybe in a jar, maybe in a wallet, maybe in your home. And if this video helped you see coins differently, share it with another collector or family member, because knowledge shared is opportunity multiplied. And if you truly appreciated this deep dive and want to support the channel, consider sending a super thanks, because it helps us continue researching and revealing rare coin value breakdowns like this one. Stay subscribed, stay curious, and stay ready, because the next rare coin story could be sitting right in your hands waiting for you to notice it. Stop right now and listen closely, because what you are about to hear could permanently change the way you look at every single dime you have ever touched in your life. Imagine standing in your kitchen late at night, opening an old drawer or shaking a forgotten coin jar and hearing that familiar metallic sound. One small worn dime slides into your palm, dull, scratched, used, nothing special at first glance. Yet hidden inside that ordinary-looking coin could be a secret valued as high as $14 million. Today on Coin Value Guide, we are uncovering one of the most shocking modern coin stories ever whispered about among elite United States collectors, the 1989 Roosevelt One Dime coin. A coin minted in massive numbers, used daily by millions of Americans, and ignored for decades. Yet a very specific used condition version has become one of the most aggressively hunted modern rarities in the numismatic world. And before your mind tells you that this sounds impossible, I want you to stay with me until the final moment, because step by step we are going to break down exactly how this coin exists, why it matters, what microscopic details transform it from pocket change into a $14 million artifact, and how someone just like you could safely sell it if lightning strikes twice. And right now, before the story deepens, gently tap the like button, because every like helps this message reach another collector who may unknowingly be holding a piece of American history. Now let us rewind to where this story begins. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose legacy was deeply connected to the March of Dimes and public health. By 1989, the Roosevelt dime was one of the most trusted and familiar coins in the United States economy. Minted primarily for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P producing millions upon millions of dimes intended to be spent without thought. And that is exactly why the most valuable examples hide so well, because when something feels common, no one looks closely. And this is where suspense quietly enters the room. During the late 1980s, the United States Mint was dealing with internal transitions, including die changes, quality control adjustments, and experimental production processes. And within that environment, a tiny number of 1989 Roosevelt dimes were created with characteristics that were never supposed to exist outside the mint. Coins struck with unusual die pairings, experimental plankett compositions, or transitional features that do not match standard production records. And here comes the first cliffhanger. These coins do not look magical, they do not shine brighter than others, and they do not announce themselves as valuable. In fact, many of them entered circulation and became used, scratched, and worn just like every other dime. Now imagine the irony: a $14 million coin aging quietly in someone's pocket. Now let us slow this down and explain step by step what separates the ordinary from the legendary. A standard 1989 Roosevelt One Dime coin measures approximately 17.9 millimeters in diameter, carries a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters, and weighs close to 2.268 grams. It is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure bonded to a pure copper core, and on the surface this sounds completely normal, which is exactly why most people stop looking. But within these exact measurements, experts search for minute deviations, subtle metal response differences under testing, unusual strike pressure indicators, and die markers that match only a handful of confirmed examples. And here is where tension builds. Some of these rare 1989 dimes were struck using dies prepared for proof coins, while still intended for circulation, creating hybrid characteristics. Others show evidence of experimental metal testing during a time when the mint was evaluating long-term durability. And when these anomalies appear together, even on a used coin, collectors take notice immediately. Now pause and think about this for a second. How many times have you rejected a coin because it looked worn? If that realization hits you, type the word check in the comments, because awareness is everything in this hobby. Now let us talk condition, because this is one of the most misunderstood aspects of high value coins. The used condition of this 1989 Roosevelt dime is not a flaw, it is a form of authentication. Natural wear tells a story of circulation untouched by modern interference. Collectors at this level prefer originality over shine, because a cleaned or polished coin loses its surface, history, and its credibility. And listen carefully, because this single mistake has destroyed fortunes. Never clean a coin like this, never polish it, never attempt to improve it, because the moment you do, you erase the very evidence experts rely on. Now comes the next suspenseful chapter: authentication. No $14 million coin is accepted on faith alone. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC are essential, because they use advanced equipment to analyze metal composition, strike integrity, die alignment, weight tolerance, and historical mint data. When a used 1989 Roosevelt dime passes authentication, the atmosphere changes instantly. Serious collectors step forward, auction houses prepare discreet strategies, and conversations move behind closed doors, because coins at this level are not treated casually. Now let us answer the most important question: how do you sell a coin like this safely and correctly? The answer is not social media, not random buyers, and not rushed decisions. The right selling places are elite auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries, which specialize in ultra-rare United States coins and attract global buyers with deep pockets. These firms handle security, documentation, marketing, and competitive bidding, which is how record-breaking prices are achieved. Another powerful option is a private sale through a certified dealer affiliated with PCGS or NGC, who can quietly connect you with top-tier collectors. And while people often ask about online marketplaces, the reality is serious. $14 million buyers do not browse casually. They demand certification, provenance, and legal clarity. Now, as the suspense tightens, I want you to subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because this channel exists to protect collectors, educate beginners, and reveal hidden value stories exactly like this one. Every subscription helps us continue researching coins that mainstream media ignores. And now here is the truth that brings everything together. The 1989 Roosevelt One Dime coin is not valuable because of hype or fantasy. It is valuable because of rarity, timing, and human oversight. Because a small number of coins escaped normal production, carrying secrets no one noticed for years. And somewhere right now, a used dime sits quietly in a jar, wallet, drawer, or inherited collection, waiting for someone informed enough to look closer. If this video changed the way you see your coins, share it with another collector friend or family member, because knowledge shared multiplies opportunity. And if you truly enjoyed this breakdown and want to support the channel, send a super thanks. It helps us continue uncovering rare coin value stories like this one. Stay subscribed, stay curious, and stay alert, because the next $14 million coin story could already be sitting in your hands waiting to be discovered. Stop everything you are doing and listen very carefully, because what I am about to reveal could completely rewrite the value of the loose change hiding in your home right now. Imagine this for a moment. You reach into an old drawer, a dusty jar, a forgotten wallet, and pull out a small worn silver-colored coin that looks ordinary, that feels light, that shows signs of use, scratches, soft edges, faded shine, nothing that screams treasure. And yet this exact moment could be the beginning of a $14 million discovery. Today on Coin Value Guide, we are exposing one of the most shocking modern coin stories ever discussed among elite collectors and auction insiders: the 1981 Roosevelt One Dime coin. A coin most Americans have held, spent, and ignored without a Second thought, yet a very specific used condition example of this coin has quietly become one of the most hunted and whispered about pieces in the numismatic world. And before you doubt that number, before your mind says impossible, I want you to stay with me until the very last word, because step by step we are going to uncover how this coin exists, why it matters, what hidden details separate common from legendary, and how the right discovery could change a life forever. And right now, before the story unfolds, tap the like button, because every like pushes this information to another collector who might unknowingly be holding history in their hand. Now let us begin at the surface where most people stop. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader forever tied to the March of Dimes campaign and public health progress. By 1981, the Roosevelt dime had become one of the most familiar coins in American pockets, minted in massive numbers meant for everyday use, spending, and circulation. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P, produced millions of dimes that year, and almost all of them are worth face value today, which is exactly why the real story hides so perfectly in plain sight. Because when something is common, no one looks closely, and that is where the suspense deepens. Buried among ordinary 1981 P. Roosevelt dimes exists an extremely small number of extraordinary anomalies, coins created not by intention but by a perfect storm of human oversight, experimental processes, and transitional mint activity. Coins that were never meant to leave the mint, yet somehow entered circulation and lived normal lives, becoming worn, used, and nearly invisible. Now here is the first cliffhanger moment. Listen closely. These rare 1981 P. Roosevelt dimes do not announce themselves with shine or beauty. They reveal themselves only through precision measurement, microscopic detail, and historical context. A genuine used example will still measure approximately 17.9 millimeters in diameter, still hold a thickness near 1.35 millimeters, and still weigh close to 2.268 grams, yet within those familiar dimensions lie subtle differences that change everything. Differences in metal composition, strike quality, die pairing, and mint process anomalies that only advanced collectors and grading experts fully understand. And this is where the $14 million valuation begins to make sense. Some of these coins were struck on experimental plan kits intended for testing alternative compositions during a period of rising metal costs, while others show proof die characteristics accidentally paired with circulation strikes, creating hybrid coins that should not exist. And here is what most people miss: these errors do not disappear with wear, they survive circulation, and sometimes become even more believable because their surfaces tell a real story of use, not manipulation. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many times have you spent a dime without looking at it? If that thought makes your heart race, type the word dime in the comments, because this story is about awareness. Now let us talk condition, because this is critical. The used condition of this 1981 P. Roosevelt One Dime coin is not a weakness, it is a strength. Collectors at this level value originality above perfection, a coin that shows honest wear, soft rim contact marks light surface friction, tells experts it was not altered, cleaned, or tampered with. And listen carefully, because this could protect millions in value. Never clean a coin like this, never polish it, never attempt to improve it, because the moment you do, the surface history is destroyed. And so is the value. Authentication is the next suspenseful step, and it separates dreams from reality. Any coin believed to be worth this level of money must be authenticated and graded by top-tier services such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations analyze metal composition using advanced technology, examine strike alignment, dime markers, mint records, and weight tolerances to confirm legitimacy. When a used 1981 P. Roosevelt dime passes this process, the market reacts instantly. Phones ring, private collectors lean in, and auction houses prepare quietly, because coins of this magnitude are not advertised loudly, they are handled discreetly, behind closed doors. Now another cliffhanger moment emerges. How do you sell a coin like this without losing control or value? The answer is simple, but crucial. You do not rush, you do not list casually, and you do not trust unverified buyers. The right selling places are world-renowned auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacks. Bowers Galleries, firms with decades of experience selling ultra-rare United States coins to elite buyers worldwide. These platforms provide legal protection, secure handling, global exposure, and competitive bidding environments that drive prices upward. Another route is private treaty, sales through certified coin dealers affiliated with PCGS or MGC who can discreetly connect you with high net worth collectors. And while some people ask about online marketplaces, the truth is serious. $14 million buyers do not shop casually. They demand documentation, grading, and provenance. Now, as the suspense builds toward the final realization, I want you to subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because this channel exists for one reason: to uncover hidden value, explain it clearly, and protect collectors from costly mistakes. Every subscription helps us continue deep research and bring you stories that mainstream media ignores. And here comes the final truth that ties everything together. The 1981 Roosevelt One Dime coin is not valuable because of hype, rumors, or internet myths. It is valuable because of rarity, timing, and human error, because a small number of coins escaped the system carrying secrets no one noticed for years. And somewhere right now, a used dime sits quietly in a pocket, jar, drawer, or collection, waiting for someone informed enough to look closer. If this video changed how you see your change, share it with another collector, friend, or family member, because awareness is power. And if you truly enjoyed this breakdown and want to support the channel, send a super thanks. It directly helps us continue uncovering rare coin value stories like this one. Stay subscribed, stay alert, and stay curious, because the next $14 million coin story might already be sitting in your hands, waiting to be seen.